Dearly beloved wannabes, welcome to the channel where the only opinion that matters is the Eberly opinion. We're here to give you the judgiest perspective on your teams with 100% accuracy. It is Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Woo!
And as you
Let's
can
rock and roll.
you can see here that my brother has been loyal to his Seahawks team. It looks like he's got another toque on. What's
Uh,
that about?
Always been a fan, bro. Always been a
Right.
fan.
You've
You
always
know,
talked about Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. I am. You know what? I should actually have a black and white jersey on right now, just for team refs, right?
Right? Yeah.
Team referees. Cool. But this is the wannabes channel, so we want to talk about the wannabes and all your special teams and what we want to kind of go through on this podcast. We are kind of going to go through your where we predicted you to finish, right? Uh, we're going to go through your records, kind of compare your first half of the year to the second half of the year. Then we're gonna kind of go through any like little comments we have, and we're also gonna go through your waivers. So we're gonna go see where you spent your money, and then we're gonna obviously how your team turned out. We have a theme for every team. So Neal, I think you're kind of introing the first guy there,
Oh, yeah. Well, Ian, he won last year, didn't he?
and the year before actually.
Okay. Okay. So it's a
So naturally, like the Chiefs, he went for a championship this year, right?
right. So we're starting with the champion or we're starting with the loser
Oh, right. We are starting at the bottom of the barrel, aren't we? We are starting at the bottom.
from the
Wow.
from the
Double,
penthouse to the outhouse here.
double first to last. I kind of, you know, when he like I think what we did actually worked because he's got the Sam Malone hair, right? So the theme I kind of had and what was he's a bit of our voodoo doll. Ian, what you didn't know is during the draft when you're shit faced, we plucked some of that Sam Malone hair out of you. We we attached it to a doll and then we took pins and we just kept stabbing you in the nuts. You know, like if you look at your team, it's actually it, it's actually pretty good. So
You know,
we can't figure out how you did so shitty.
I
Okay,
think,
like oh
yeah,
my
I think,
God, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Puka Nakua, Devontae Smith, Evan Ingram, who had a great year, Brees Hall, like, like what happened?
I think Ian was selling us all fake goods. He's like the dealer who's selling everybody baking soda and telling them it's pure Peruvian. He's it's just like the worst fucking uh backwards
Did did
turnabout this
did
year.
he scam us for the first those 2 years? Like, did we just like I don't know.
I
Anyways,
think it could have
uh,
been it could have been drop kicking the doll through the uprights at
oh
the
oh
football
we
field.
we took that voodoo doll and we ran over it with our fucking trucks. Okay, like
Chad
Jesus.
Chad took a dump on it.
Yeah. So you were predicted to be first from your own, Ian, from your own computer program. Uh,
Was that wait. Was that his? That
yeah,
was his computer
as
program.
his computer program. He was predicted to be first. Uh, hey, dickhead, you came last. Okay. So we and then we kind of broke it down. First half of the year, what was your record? It was third and four. Uh, 3 and 4. Sorry, not too bad. Not too bad. Uh, Second half, is this for real? I have them at 5-2. Is that not? Maybe it's 2-5. I think it's
Yeah.
2 wins, probably 2 wins, 5 losses. I feel like I got it backwards.
Well,
Hold on.
yeah,
I
he
think
definitely
he shit
fell off there.
he shit the bed. So, you know, there's no way he could have done that. So there we are. Uh, in the playoffs, you know, uh, you did well, Ian. you kept rocking and rolling. And Neal, maybe you want to talk about that little bit of a final that you guys had there.
Well, it was touch and go throughout the game, and I'm just happy that Ian could come through for me, and I ended up losing that one, which is one that you want to lose. And now Ian is the sad sack of the league, so
Yeah.
nothing could make me happier than to see Ian at the bottom of the barrel.
So technically, you won that one, and which
Well,
means, yeah,
yes,
which means
yeah,
you didn't win. You weren't the last
thank
player in the
God,
league. Yes,
thank God.
thank God. You know what? I would hate that. I'd hate being last. It would. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's a terrible feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. You know what? Uh, Ian's last. We got a whole bunch of people who didn't make the playoffs, and let's not spend as too much time on them, uh, because we've got a lot of people to go through here. Uh,
Yeah.
Now let's go second to last. Let's go to that guy. And you predicted ninth, Neal. So this one's about you. This one is all about you. You're predicted ninth, and you know, um, and you came second to last. So the big thing here is, oh, by the way, sorry to step back one little bit. Evan Ingram, Ian spent $16 on. He should have spent more money on waivers. Okay. Neal, you were predicted ninth. You came second to last. You started 2-5. Uh, you ended second half 3-4. Okay.
So
Um,
technically, I was improving.
yeah. In the playoffs, in the first round, you lost to the guy with the least amount of points in the league, and you ended up in the turd bowl there. Okay,
Well,
so
for the record, when we're looking at stats, usually they don't include the playoffs. So I think we should wipe that one out.
mhm.
Technically, I did
Yep.
not lose to Noob at all. So
The
you know,
my theme, I have a theme for you,
okay.
and once I watched you pick up that Colts QB, and then I watched you bust up there early, just marching up there to pick up Pittman early, to match with him. And the only thing I could think is you were circling the drain the whole year. All you were doing, all you were doing was going down, 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 right from the top of the bowl, right. You ended up at the turd bowl, and you know what was great? The great thing was Ian plugged the toilet.
Thanks, Ian.
You didn't have to finish because Ian plugged the toilet. Unfortunately for you, the fucker overflowed. Like, what? That was a tough year for you.
It was. I took a big swing, and I whiffed completely. And the worst part about it was that I kept going back to the guy, thinking, this is going to be the week. He's
It's
going
gonna
to run.
happen.
He's going to run the ball. He's going to get 2 touchdowns. They're smart enough to just give the kid the ball, and it never happened. So I ended up having to bail on him, and it screwed me. But
Well,
lesson learned.
you did. Let's talk about your waivers because you had a nice one. JSN, great pick. I cannot argue. I believe he's a keeper for you. Probably if he doesn't lose like a foot in a motorcycle accident or something, I think you're probably pretty good there. You spent $16. Very early on, though, I do believe very early on, uh, you spent $26 on the Giants QB.
Who did?
Cricket, cricket.
Who did that?
What? What were you? Did he have a big game? And or was
Ah,
that after he played Seattle?
yeah, yeah. You know what? I have a soft spot for the Giants, and I was remembering back to all those amazing Eli Manning days, and I
Or
thought, hey, This is
There
the
were
second coming.
no, there was he had a good year where he ran a lot.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
let's not get it twisted. He was never a accurate passer by any means. So um, I moved on from him though, and I did grab the Denver quarterback, who is
I
pretty
think you
good.
spent like $3 on that guy.
But hey, what a $3 that was.
Yeah. Like yeah, it's like the nectarines are on sale at the Safeway, so you think they're going to be shitty, and then you get home, you bit into it. It was the you know
Oh, it's my
best nectarine you've ever had. So you
it's my
know
favorite.
it's I can't argue. I think you got at least a couple good keepers there for next year. So you're in a good spot to start. Um, but you definitely were you were circling the drain all year, bud. So appreciate
Uh,
you, love you.
Thank you,
I
thank
love your
you.
new headset too, by the way. Thank God.
So you guys can
Uh,
hear me now.
for the record, you guys,
Oh,
just so you know, as we're talking about Neal's team, it did take us about 10 minutes for Neal to figure out that he had a mute button on his headset. Uh, and we couldn't figure out why he couldn't hear his voice.
let's get back to Chad's toque.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to my two. Okay, do you want to bring this guy up or do you want me to bring him up?
Uh, I feel like you can bring him up, but I just have one line for you at the end. So go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. All right. Well, we have the guy that was predicted second here. And yeah, he came all the way. We're just gonna call him we're just gonna go from last. So he's third last. And it's James. He kind of he's the kind of guy that everybody just wants to beat him, right? It's he does the best digs, and everybody hates him for that. He comes up with a stupid rule that everybody hated all year long, and but wasn't quite as bad. Wasn't quite as bad as when he made us all watch The Bachelorette. Uh, and I'd never watched it. And the shitty part is he was supposed to be keeping record of it, and it was so bad he didn't watch it, so we actually didn't know where everybody was happening. I
He's
I've
he's
never
he's he's a really good bad guy of the league.
he's like he's like a Patrick Mahomes of the league. I mean, the guy's got 4 titles. He can't
He's
really
he's he's playing chess. We're playing checkers.
yeah, you
His
can't
giant,
you
his
can't
head's humongous. It's like a fucking
it wouldn't fit in this toque.
yeah.
This
It wouldn't,
this Duke's massive. His head wouldn't fit in.
we
Neither
can
would
we,
Mark's though, but Mark's never won anything. Uh,
well actually tried to have Jim on the podcast, but his head wouldn't fit on the screen. So we decided that maybe we'll try and get a wide angle for him next year
hey
or
Bailey,
something.
we're getting a lot of digs on you right now. Um, so he going into the playoffs, he lost twice, and that was that. And but yeah, because he got the free round in the beginning. We're gonna get rid of that because you want everybody competing for that last place that goes into that loser
Yeah.
pool.
I
Um,
I feel
okay.
like I feel like we kind of uh you know mucked up Ian on that one because I feel like James would have been right there.
Oh, James was okay. So, and this is kind of that actually leads right into the theme. Um, we have a theme for James is the guy. He's at the party and he's completely underdressed.
Wearing
He
all wearing all his beige clothing.
Yeah, it's a dress up, and he's in a sweatsuit. Like James was faking it all year long. He was he was he was in the playoff hunt all year long, but his team really wasn't that good, you know? And like he's got Rico Dowdle. Um Pacheco was out most of the year. Uh, Khalil Shakir, Westbrook Akine.
Yeah,
He did. So
exactly.
the only thing that saved him was the Commanders QB.
Right.
And as we look through the league, we go through everyone, and that seemed to be the thing that saved, or you're either sinking or swimming with your QB this year. That's for sure.
Well, and the first thing he's going to want to bring up is injuries, but nobody cares. That's part
Yeah,
of the
he
game,
did. He did have Christian McCaffrey. Okay, so
right?
first pick overall, and so let's go to his waivers. I think if I go through, oh no, I think somebody spent more. But anyways, he spent $42 on Jordan Mason,
Oh
and
yeah,
money well spent. Money
right.
well spent. That kid was a good replacement, and he carried that team uh, a ways. Super smart move. Dove in deep with the money, but he needed to. He lost Christian McCaffrey and like for the whole year, so that sucks. He's still sitting on his IR, by the way. Christian McCaffrey's still on his team. First pick overall, Mark. Can't wait to see what you get, bud. um, now you do have a thing at the end you said you wanted to say, but can I bring up he was the lowest points for in our division.
That's what I wanted to kind of touch on. I was going to say his team scored less points than mine did, and I think that's funny enough. So, I mean,
I I
I
know, but
mean to
you
to
you
to have
you you're when you're setting the bar so low like James did, and you barely have to lift your heel off the ground to step over it. Do you really want to wave that flag?
well, that's why I got big calves.
You do you do have big calves, but come on, man. Like, hey, I beat noob.
It
Like
doesn't matter. I beat somebody. You
beat
know,
somebody.
there's got to be a shitty guy in the league, and this year I was one of them.
Um, so the funny part is we just brought up his name. Do you wanna give him the intro?
Yeah. Okay. So, Noob was third last or fourth last?
Fourth last.
Fourth last. Okay. And he thinks it's a good idea to come to the draft without a list and just wing it. Those wings don't fly, Justin. Those wings don't fly. He ended up 2-12. And my brother's got this formula that he came up with where we try and pick out a player that's brought the team down. I think, bro, we can just line the entire team up and you can close your eyes and take your pick.
This
Uh,
yeah, like they're two of the top. I'm on his team. Two of the top teams are in the Super Bowl right now. And so if I go to your team on the Wannabes site, I go to somebody's and it says, oh, playing this weekend, or a lot of people's have bye. Okay.
yeah.
Justin's are all bye. There's nobody good that's on these two teams playing this weekend. Okay. And Justin started. Like, let's be honest, the fact that Justin finished fourth to last is a fucking miracle. It, it
Yes.
just like how the hell how was he not last? He was the lowest points for by far. Okay.
Yeah.
And you look at his team, it's really bad. And he was predicted to be second to last, and he rose out of the gutter as far as I'm concerned. You know,
Well, there were brief, like weekly beatings with like little moments of razzle dazzle. And in week 5, he scored 164 points against Nathan. In week 12, he beat Ian, which this year was like pushing a toddler down the steps. But on a positive note, I can say there are a couple potential keepers for next year. It's not really hard to point out which ones. Trey McBride,
Did
of
he did
course.
did he take him in the draft or was that a keeper?
No, that was a
Oh,
drafted guy. Caleb Williams should take another step. Uh,
you dude,
I,
dude, look, because you're a Bears fan, don't fucking bring up Caleb Williams. Okay, look,
I
I get it.
mark
I
my
get it.
words.
I get it. They got Johnson, they got the coach. They got the coach. But when you're trying to do silly putty and you're playing with sand, like fuck me, man. Like,
Well,
it
hey,
still slips through the fingers, bud.
you
Okay?
you you got to start somewhere. Caleb Williams is, if he doesn't want him, I'll take him. Let's put it that
Justin, I'm sorry that we're talking about the Bears in your category here. I
way.
apologize. That's my brother's fault.
I feel bad for kicking a horse when it's down because I'm the dead horse right next to him. So, who's
He
our next guy?
No, well, just wait. One little note.
Yeah.
Justin was shooting it out for first pick overall.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so
What
he was shooting it out um for first pick overall. Was he not? Oh no, it wasn't. No, sorry. My bad. My bad. That was my next note. That's on the next guy that we're talking about. Justin, you weren't shooting it out for first pick overall. You were fourth to
but
last. You're still a good guy.
does he does he have any interesting waiver pickups, brother?
Oh yeah. And it's really weird. Some of the guys that really sucked, didn't spend a lot of money. Didn't go deep on players and stuff like that. And his one of his biggest pickups was $15 for Carson Steele. So, like it, and you see some of these other ones, and you're like, holy shit. Like I can go all the way down to the winner. I can go down to the winner, and I can see the money that was spent that took him to the title.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Justin, maybe you want to work on your fucking waivers next year.
And maybe
Uh,
not don't pick up white fullbacks for for your starting running backs.
um, Now let's actually go to the guy who did lose first pick overall by 1 point because it was a vicious, vicious game. If I've got this correct, I think I've got it correct. It was where are they? What are they called? Double D's. Oh no, it doesn't say that. Doesn't say that. Lost first pick, lost first pick overall, and he only scored 76 points. There we are. Sorry. Steve, we're introducing you right now. Mark beat you with 92 and a half points for first pick overall. Um,
So, in the end, it looks like artificial intelligence failed Steve. He finished a modest 6-8 on the season. Things were looking up for double D's until week 10. Then he lost five in a row. I think, bro, you
I
have a
I
theme
do
for Steve.
I do have a well, okay, because he started 4-3.
Yeah.
Steve, and there was some talk. There was some talk coming from Steve's side
Oh, he was
during
he was
in the beginning.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was chirping,
chirping like a parrot. Yeah.
and so I he was, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought he was pretty much a locomotive uh in that first half of the year. And then we look at his score, his 2-5 finish in the last 7 games, losses in a row, and my theme is he turned into an electric car.
Yeah.
There
He does
he
have a Tesla.
he ran out of juice.
He ran
He
out of
totally ran. He has a Tesla. You.
yeah. He but he fell apart like a girl on her 19th birthday.
Oh,
Woo! And then he ends up in the bathroom crying next to the toilet.
puking for sure,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah. So a locomotive to electric car, I think, is kind of and he started with 4 wins in a row.
Yeah, yeah, and he was letting us know about it. But you know what? He had some solid players. He had Jefferson. Jaden Reed, and he's got Terry McLaurin, Ken Walker, Tony Pollard for keeper options there. So things could get better for Steve, but
Pretty
he couldn't.
quick next year.
Yeah, he couldn't hold it.
It's so
Go ahead.
he's a guy that really likes to dig in about the QBs and stuff like that. People going
Definitely.
early and shit like that. And well, Steve, it really fucking bit you in the ass, didn't it?
It was his downfall, depending on Geno Smith and Dak Prescott. And 2 years ago, you remember that, don't you? He was making fun of us for taking QBs early, but I think next year we could see a guy going for an early QB, and
Yeah,
I think it's his name is Double D's for sure.
double D's for sure. Um, that's kind of what I have on Steve. Do you have any more notes? Anything you want
No,
to say? Because
no. Does he have uh, a waiver pickup that was interesting, or
yeah, yours.
oh no, which
He
one?
picked up Kyle Pitts for 17. And what's funny is as I go through, I think like two people later picked up Kyle Pitts for 18. Like, I don't know how that happened.
You know, I'm not the only one that believes in the kid, apparently.
And Steve didn't spend, I don't think Steve spent a lot of money. I don't think he went because I usually put if I have a note down on waivers, I usually put the highest pick. And I think that Kyle Pitts might have been it for him. Let's move on to the guy who took first pick overall. Let's go through some of his stats before we kind of give him his theme because I think we can really do Mark. I think we can really hit a deep dive on Mark's theme, right? Okay. So it was predicted 12th. Okay. Came eighth, which was first pick overall. In the it like I'm not going to argue with that. What a great spot to be.
So, so he actually improved.
I would love to have a kind of a pick between Jamar Chase and Saquon Barkley or something like that. Mike Mark,
Christian McCaffrey.
well, yeah, Christian McCaffrey, might jump in there. Third started 3-4, first half of the year, finished 3-4. Even Steven, uh, he had shitty competition for that first pick overall. It was Steve. Steve didn't find. And Mark had great waiver options, and they came from other people's fucking teams. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, Chase Brown for 24. Thank you. Um, and then Carlos Sutton for 14. And I remember Mark thanking people throughout the year. Mark got a little cocky too. And I think that's when we can really dive into his theme because Mark's theme is the Wizard of Oz. In the movie, and the wizard's like really scary, and like they go in the thing, and he's like, right, and it's like he's on the wall or whatever. You will, and Mark was doing really well throughout the year, and we all actually know that it was fake, and I think Mark thought his shit was real, and then we got behind the curtain,
Pay
and
no attention to that man behind the curtain.
and And Mark, I think at that point we saw the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, and it was Mark. And I think Mark got cocky, and I think Mark took away control from his kid and started making the moves.
That's when the hand rocked the cradle.
Mark, it's called Nathan's team for a reason, you know? Like, great, you're the Wizard of Oz. Maybe, you've produced this kid. Maybe his brains come from his mom. I don't know. Like, but here we are. And it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a bad year for you. I think you're shooting it in for the playoffs all year, and kind of at the end we all got a little rope doped. Um and but you know s- you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have Carlos Sutton, Zay Flowers was in there. But then you've got players like Etienne, Amir Abdullah. You had and you're again going back to the theme that we just went with Steve, is QBs, Saints and Texans.
Right. Right.
You
I don't
know,
know.
uh, you know. So um, you
I,
did good with your waivers. I think you have really good keepers. I
who does he have for keepers?
Well, I'm gonna say like he's got all these people he picked off waivers. He's got Chase Brown,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's probably the Zay Flowers is sitting there. Cortland
Right.
Sutton's sitting there.
Right.
You know, so he's got viable options. So actually, I'm a little bit nervous with him stacking that with first pick overall, right?
I'm not worried at all. When you
Like he's not.
said when you said a Wizard of Oz, I was thinking Toto. He's just along the ride in the basket.
Clicking his heels together. There's no
Yeah.
place like home. There's no place like home. Okay. But Mark could literally start the draft. Chase Brown and Jamar Chase.
Right. Yeah. That could be a little bit challenging for the mainland division.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, enough of giving him ideas. Mark, congratulations on first pick overall, and as we've seen throughout the years, that usually has anybody won? I think one person's won with first pick overall. Is that correct?
Yeah, the curse of first. It's a thing for real.
Yeah.
So I mean that applies to if you're first in the overall as well. Like look at what happened to Brian.
Hmm.
But anyway,
What do you mean first overall?
so if you're the clear dominant guy, I haven't seen too
I
many.
I had most points in the regular season, by the way. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Oh, and you won, right?
Anyways, uh,
Anyways, moving on.
okay, let's start talking about the important people, the people that made the playoffs, and I think you could probably intro this next guy who, he's been back in the league and he's on fire and he's kind of the last of the guys who made the playoffs.
Right. Garry. Garry, my guy. Uh, Garry had the dice fall his way a little bit. And Chad's theme for him this year is the Magic 8 Ball team. Do you have a comment on that?
Well, he just seemed to kind of come up with an answer, like like the Magic 8 Ball. You say a question, you shake it, and it kind of has an answer. He seemed to have answers this year. You know what I mean? Right? Like it seemed like he did pretty well.
So,
He looked
so
really strong.
he shakes it and it says, "Ask your wife."
I was gonna say I had a different theme. I was gonna say he shook the thing, and the only answer was ever Derrick Henry.
It was just Derrick Henry over and
Hey,
over again.
what color is the sky?
Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
Henry. Because again, so he got to the playoffs. He rode Henry's back. Definitely wasn't Marvin Harrison Jr., right?
Yeah,
He started. We predicted him 11th. He came 8th. He started 5-2. It looks like he finished 5-2. Uh, and then he
yeah,
lost in the first round.
yeah. He came into the playoffs 10-4, but still he was only fourth in our division in points. So he won three in the row at the end, but he got punted in the first round of playoffs
Yeah. Okay.
again.
All right,
And
you're starting to cut up a
yeah,
little bit,
I
bud. So I'm just
think
going to talk
when
over you until your
partners
computer
are
starts
defending
itself.
him, it hurts
Okay?
his
All right.
team.
Sorry, Gary, that Neal's computer is breaking down while your preview is going on here. Okay, you're back, bro. You're back. We lost you for
Can
good.
okay.
Yeah,
So Derrick Henry, he depended on him throughout the year. And Henry was one of the most dominant forces again. And Gary happened to have two Henrys. So let's fast forward to 3 nights before the draft, or sorry, before the playoffs. This is a true story. This is coming from his wife. Gary's on the couch doing some tinkering, and he's about to drop a player, and his wife calls, "Hey, babe, your bubble bath is ready." And Gary was dreaming about cinnamon scented candles, and he lost his focus. He dropped Derrick Henry, not Hunter Henry. And after that, the boys rushed in like a pack of fucking hyenas. Like we had to intervene. The Eberleys had to intervene, and then we ended up getting death threats because of it. So I
mostly from Mackay, just so
yeah,
everyone's aware. Yeah, Mackay is, yeah,
I
uh,
think I think that will go down as one of the biggest fuck ups of all time.
dropping Derrick
Um,
Henry. Holy God.
right before the playoffs, perfect. Um, okay, so that's that. But
But
his
he
the
did he had so when I'm looking at his money that he spent,
yeah,
uh here's your other guy that spent $18 on Kyle Pitts.
another guy. What the fuck is going on here?
So yeah. Um I think we're kind of through you, Gary. You rode Derrick Henry's back, but another team, what position are they lacking? QB.
Quarterback,
Yeah.
quarterback
You
again.
got Steelers and Giants he ended up with. I don't know how he took the Giants when you took the Giants. Who the hell picks the Giants up? I don't know. That's all right though. Okay. All right. Are we ready to move on? I feel like I'm gonna let you lead this horse down the path.
Okay, so we're on Fleshlight, aren't we? Right? Yeah. Okay. So, brother, you could not have built a better team, and I've said that many times in the last few weeks. Even the guys you threw away did well. See, Chase,
I drafted. I believe I drafted the best team. So
right?
if you look at the current roster, but then you look at the two guys that kind of shit the bed for like the first 3 weeks, and I just didn't wait long enough.
Yeah, you had one of those analysis by paralysis type things, and you ended up giving away two of the best players in the back half of the year. So you ended up in first in points four. And I honestly don't know how you went into the playoffs at 8-6. How does that happen? You mean you
You know what? But I people showed up. People showed up when they played me. And again, I it did. I had the most points for. I did give away Chase Brown and little lad McConkey. And so that I mean, th I could have had anybody. It doesn't matter. I couldn't have had anybody. For some reason, Shady Commish, that first week, it wouldn't have mattered. He showed up and he scored 865 points on me.
right?
Like, it didn't matter. It wouldn't have mattered if I had Lad McConkey, Chase Brown. Like,
So that leads me to my next thing. Out of the big three teams in the league, if we're looking at three of them, you were the Toby Maguire of the three Spider-Men. Everything looks status quo. You had a pretty good box office performance, but
yeah.
when you compare it to the other powerhouses, you fell short somehow. It's like a plantain to the banana.
I,
Uh, go ahead.
I thought Toby Maguire was one of the best ones.
Oh, he's terrible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You look, well, movies boil down to money, and if you look at the money, Tobey Maguire's movies did not make as nearly as much as the other two
oh,
guys.
they didn't. Okay.
No. Anyways, so you had Williams, who had a great season. He finished number 7 at the running back spot. Cooper Cup took 4 games off. He came back to have a really good stretch, only
Yep.
to disappoint when it really mattered. And
Yep.
speaking of disappointments, the Burrow to Chase stack was fire most of the year, but put up a stinker in week 15. So, it everything was going gangbusters for you, and you just tanked at the wrong time.
Week one of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Week one of the playoffs. It just it didn't work. I can officially say my I can go to my waivers um, and I look at my Dontavian Wicks. That's where I drop some money. I had one good week, and every analyst was saying, "Go get him, go spend the dough." So I did. I beat everybody, and I think within a week I dropped him after one game because he dropped 4 passes or something that next game. And I can see another big downfall of mine, and because he beat me with this guy. My big trade for DK Metcalf, where I traded off Jared Goff, and I think Jared Goff might have scored 50 points against me in that first week of the playoffs.
Yeah, it kind of came back on you there. That
Yeah,
wasn't one. That was one you couldn't get rid of with
yeah,
penicillin.
yeah,
You so as far as next year goes, your keepers are looking pretty rough.
yeah,
You might get lucky with Rice if he can make a full recovery. I think
yeah.
he's still on your IR bench. Um, but you did trade for Stafford, and as soon as he had all of his players around him, he was awesome, right? So that would be a seventh rounder for a backup QB. And
Yeah, but then he stunk in the playoffs, but
yeah,
yeah,
seventh round for a backup QB. It's
you
not
know what?
horrible.
I know, no, I've already got a plan. I've already got a plan. I'm gonna go in and
He's
take
already he's already listening to the radio.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, I don't know if you're listening to everybody's thing, but you have to understand that I've already listened probably to about 30 podcasts for next year. And ever since I started listening to podcasts about fantasy football, I've sucked, to be honest. Uh, I had some strategies that I used to do
But
before.
you know what?
Uh,
Yeah, and they worked.
yeah,
You got to
I
go.
had some strategies that I did before I started listening to podcasts, and they really worked for me. There's a string there. I out of 5 years, 4 times I came second. That was pre-podcast, I would say. And now here we are, me listening
Well,
to podcasts.
after a rough couple of years that you've had, we should all give you a standing ovation. But we won't. We'll
No,
move on.
no, we will not do that. Okay, should we move on?
Yeah.
Uh, and did we say my predictions like that they were third and I came seventh? No,
No, we didn't.
that's okay.
So that's good.
That's okay. We're gonna move on because this is about the guys, not us. We're gonna move on to nice guys. Like let's break this down here. And because uh I think I've told you this guys before, he was predicted to get fourth. He ended up he ended up in sixth. That's not too bad of a split, okay? But you need to understand, and I've said this before, Scott loves power rankings. Scott, this is you know I've been working with this guy for 25 years. Okay, and I come in the office. He doesn't say much. Yeah, I know he doesn't say much in the chat. You know, if somebody says something funny, you get a thumbs up. Hey, that's okay. It's okay because he is a full participant in this league. His team is always as dialed as he can possibly make it. And so he always like the first half of the year, Scott was 6-1. Let me tell you how many times I walked in on him looking at his power rankings and for him to actually give me a dig and be like, because I was shooting, I was kind of getting up there too, but and he'd be like, hey, oh, I don't think these power rankings are working, and he would show me, and it would be him in first place. Uh, so 6-1, but the back half of the year he was 2-5. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think
Um,
think we know why.
so
All the
my theme for him is he's the star that burned too bright.
what, like Liza Minnelli or
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee? His all of his heavy hitters were long in the tooth, and I think you can see that, the back half of the season was going to be rough for him. But
Well,
star that burned you bright's a good theme for him.
so the star that burned too bright. It was his season was going pretty good, and then all of a sudden, Godwin's ankle helicoptered like this. And if you watch the TV, you could actually see his foot end up the wrong way.
and
Like
and and Scott's heart break at the same time.
now, I have to call him out. I have to call him out. He's not a big trader. He's
Right.
not a big trader, and if you look at his team, I mean, you know, it was okay at the end of the year. His QB situation was okay with uh with Herbert. Herbert was starting to come around. In the office, I did say, "Hey, I've got Goff up for grabs.
Huh.
It's okay. I'm okay with my team." That was the answer. Okay.
I've tried to trade with him multiple times, and that's the exact same answer that I've got.
Yeah. I he would have because I mean I did he wasn't for the longest time he wasn't playing Brian Thomas because he did have good good players. And so I was, he had Drake London,
Alvin Kamara.
Debo.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alvin Kamara, yeah, exactly. Jonathan Taylor, like he wasn't playing. So I was trying to get Brian Thomas from him. So that was a big
That's a
trade.
big
But
that's
he
a big
wasn't.
ask.
It was Brian Thomas was still getting juice, and that is a
Oh yeah.
great
Oh yeah.
rookie keeper. Because
Watch out.
do you
Watch
know
out
what
for that
do you know what
kid.
round
Oh,
do you know what round that is?
oh no. What is it?
I was high on mushrooms at that point, and I picked Lad McConkey a little bit too early. I think it was his last round. He just kind of threw up some fucking dart at the board. Like just threw up some like
That's
fucking read on his list and looked on the list, and I think he just like,
that's a hell of a dart. Fucking
yeah,
Mr. Magoo moment there.
yeah. Oh, but it was what a great one. So he does have some good keepers. I would even say the guy who dropped the ball and lost his team the playoff round, Mark Andrews, I would say is a good keeper. Um,
Yes. I
you
think
know,
Garry dropped him, I
yeah.
think.
So, you know, um, so Scott's going to go in looking pretty good. He's got the Chargers QB who turned it around, and buddy, love you, and it definitely you are the star that burned too bright this year for our league. Uh, his oh I think I have him down as the Saints QB for $30
Oh
and Mark
yeah.
Andrews for 20. The Mark Andrews was valuable,
That
and
could work.
there you
That could
go.
work out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving up the board. Um, do you wanna take
But
this, Mr. Islander, or what? Do you want me to?
yeah, this is late night, right?
Yeah, you bet.
So late night wanderer, like there, I don't think there's anybody that would doubt this. He was the favorite, the pretty much
He
from
was he
what
was strong.
week two. I think he was 10-4 on the season, second in points for his team was stacked. He had Jameer
Five
Gibb.
5-2 the first half of the year, five
Hmm.
and two the second half of the year.
Yeah, he was stacked. He had Jameer Gibbs, Jalen Hurts, Chuba Hubbard came out of the cupboard. But of course, the best player was Saquon Barkley. Stud player moved to a quality team and O line that we should have clued in there. That should be a no brainer. But every year we listen to the experts.
Remember? Uh-oh, you're cutting out
He's
here, bud.
too
So, and I'm just gonna talk over top
old.
of you because
Not
you're
sure
doing your
he
little
can
glitchy
do
thing again.
it.
Brian has two players
He
in the Super Bowl this weekend,
played
and it's
for
his QB
prop.
and his running back.
Yeah,
And that
because he was
tells me everything I need to know for Brian's team.
sorry. You're
And I'm
cutting
hoping
out.
my brother is his computer fixes itself in a second here. Neal, I just kind of overtalked you because you were glitching again.
There we go.
Yeah, well, you're still
That's fine. Yeah.
okay. So you were glitching again. I was talking about how when I look at Brian's team on the computer here, he's got two players in this final game, and that says a lot to me in the Super Bowl.
Right.
He's got the QB and the running back, right?
Right.
So, you know,
If any player really kind of hindered him, I would say maybe Jonathan Brooks holding on to him might have hindered him a bit, but I mean, that's just, I'm reaching there. So I
yeah,
think this season was all about bad timing for Brian with all of his eggs in the Eagles basket, which is a good basket. It's one of those Martha Stewart baskets
yeah,
with all the fucking fancy cheeses and crackers from Dubai.
yeah,
But they had to play the Steelers in the first week of the playoffs. So a dominant season ended like a wet fart, kind of like the New England Patriots and the New York Giants.
yeah.
So, what
The
was his theme? Did we
well,
have one?
I do actually. Kind of, I had a Russian roulette for him,
Okay.
and unfortunately for him, the bullet found him in the first round of the playoffs.
Yes. He
Like,
he he clicked his way all the way to the
oh, click,
playoff.
click, 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 click. This game's great.
He was starting to smile,
Ow.
and then
Uh,
I'll
you
I'll
know,
give
he again predicted seventh, came fifth. Let's see where he spent his money.
okay.
Do we remember the tight end that went off week one?
Isaiah Likely. Everybody was gunning for him.
$28. Brian got him.
Perfect. And
Uh,
he should know better. He's been playing for I don't know how many years here.
no, you know what? That was a valid one. Like to see that kind of performance week one, you're like, okay, let's say the guy cuts it by 20%. Let's say he
Yeah,
cuts it by 25, you know, pretty good, you know.
not cut
But
it
then
by 90%.
yeah, but then he also spent money on Jawan Jennings.
Good
Good
one.
pickup. Good pickup, bud.
That's a good keeper for sure.
Great keeper, you look
Um,
you look at his team, there's not a lot of holes. Um,
no.
he's got Xavier
Uh,
Worthy if he wants to do a rookie keeper, and then he can kind of go do his picks. He's
well,
got he's got Chubb
I th
Hubbard.
I think he's got not only that, but he's got Jonathan Brooks sitting there. He held on to him all year, didn't he?
Doesn't matter, man. The kid blew his knee a second time.
No, did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jonathan Brooks.
I,
Yeah, right
I
at the
didn't
end of the year.
I didn't know that. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah, he
that's
got
that's
onto the field
awful.
and blew his knee again. So he's
Well,
he's he's done. He won't even. They said he won't even be in next year. So, but he's got.
terrible.
I don't know where he got T Higgins.
Was that somebody you dropped?
No, sounds like me though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I had the other dude. I you didn't mention it, but I had the ultimate stack. I had the best stack of stacks on the year, and Brian had the other little half of that there. So um,
I'll give him his due. He's turned into quite the fantasy football player. I'll be looking at his sheet next year for sure.
oh yeah, we'll definitely be that kid you're trying to copy off of, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Then we get to go in and we get to go and see our new guy,
right.
and
So the replacements, there's a perfect name for him. He weirdly just came alive. What was your
you
what
know what? I
was your
actually don't
theme
even
for
want
him?
to. I don't even want to go with my theme. I
Okay.
don't want to go with the theme. I want to bring up a past theme that we've used.
Okay.
And I wrote the theme down. I'm going totally different. I want to go with the three-eyed raven.
Three-eyed raven.
And this guy could have been, he could have been Hodor because I said to him, I said quarterbacks are pretty valuable in our league. I did.
Yeah.
I unfortunately I said QBs are pretty valuable, and the fucking cunt listened to me. Like he listened to me.
Nobody
Like
listens to you.
I know,
What
but
the fuck?
Matt listened to me and he picked the Bills QB right away. Matt, I don't mean the C word in a bad way. I mean it in a very friendly, awesome, you're a good human way. Um, and because you picked the Bills QB. And we look at all the teams that had difficulties. Look at all the teams that had difficulties.
Yeah,
You know,
they're all court leads back to the quarterback.
all leads back to quarterback. Matt just went ding round. I think it was round two. Just like Bills QB,
Yeah.
and he needed to do that before the three-eyed raven was having visions because the back half. I am shocked how well Matt's team did. I'm shocked because he was on video and he was relying on me. I did a whole bunch of mushrooms, and I think from rounds, I don't know, 7 to 12, I was pretty much incoherent staring at the sky.
I saw you talking to a tree.
I was taking a pee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt was predicted to get 10th. He got fourth. Okay.
Yeah.
Third and four to start this to start the year. We're all like, hey Matt, you're in the right place, bud. We all love you. Cheers, third and four. Thank you for joining our league. And then he finished 6-1.
Yeah. He made it to the second round of the playoffs. He finished a respectable 10-7. I thought he was going to be, the bitch meat of the league, and I'll eat crow on that one. He was pretty good. His
He,
team was a mix of downers and surprises. You have CD Lamb, who had a terrible year, but then on the flip side of that, you have George Kittle, who was the most consistent tight end, and people were ready to write him off. So there's obvious keeper potential there.
yeah,
you know, Josh Allen was doing Josh Allen things. And there was a moment where we were asking if there's going to be the first rookie champion, right?
we were not, and Matt, very much like Scott, is a quieter individual. And he doesn't say too much, but every time I would walk by him at the gym, he had this shit eating grin on his face. And I just knew it was just because he was just creaming everybody. He was he, he was having a good time, and I think he's got Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
Okay, there's and probably Jordan Addison was picked up probably a little bit later too. Like he's got some good keepers here. And
Is he, as any other? rookie done gotten that far before?
I think Ian made. You remember Ian showed up with his duotang?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think Ian did okay. Um, so yeah, I think that was, Ian did all right. But you know, Matt Matt spent his money on Kareem Hunt, which wasn't that bad. Actually, it was pretty good, right?
Turned out really well.
Turned out really well. And then he spent too much money on Garendo, and it was just a little too late there. Uh, Late, it's too much money. I think he spent a fortune on him. I forgot to write how much it was. Um, but Matt, welcome to the league. You did really, really well. Appreciate it. We we do like it when we bring back people like Gary a little bit better than when we bring people like you into the league. Uh, you know, we know where Gary's going to stay. With you, you could go to the moon, and that worries me. All right. So, but you definitely listened. You definitely listened. You you bought into the Bills QB early. Very, very smart move. Because your first round pick. Actually, you know what? CD didn't do that bad. I don't think he
He had
did.
a
He,
he
he
had a
fought. He fought.
rough stretch.
Yeah, but he fought through shoulder injuries and stuff like that to keep playing, and then at the end, just kind of was like, wow, I can't do this. Yeah. So, yeah.
Uh,
Are we ready to move on to the next guy?
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
that would be Rob.
Swallower. Um, you're talking about a guy who was predicted for fifth and came third. Boom. Um, 4-3 to start the year, 3-4 to finish. Uh, Probably squeaked into the playoffs. Um, he was third overall. Like he got third place. He got some money.
That's pretty good.
Can't argue that, right? This is the I think Rob, and if you listen to him as he's talking throughout the year, I think he was pretty down on his team. I remember the chats, and his team wasn't that great, this and that. And I'd phone him every once in a while. He'd be like, it's not. This is my theme for him is keep the lights on. You know, like there's a storm going on, and Rob was walking through it, and all of a sudden, oh, oh, he could see the light in the distance, right? And so what do you do? He lost five in a row at one point, it looks like, and then you win four in a row. I think that's what I have down here. So you know, week 12 on, from week 12 on, he had pretty good scoring. Okay, so yeah, how do you argue with third? Like you can't even really dig him too much, like I'd like to say something shitty about you, Rob. And
You're actually being pretty nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
So what I got is I bet Rob Botham was one of those kids in grade school that pulled down his pants all the way at the urinal.
oh yeah,
There was always that one kid.
that had his pants right around his ankles.
Yeah.
You're
So
Rob, you're the pants around your ankles team. That's your theme.
Bo-
My team, mine was way too nice, apparently.
Bobby Bum Bum. Moving on.
No, not at all. Because Rob's got, he's got Brock Bowers.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, oh,
No, it gets worse. It
oh,
gets worse. He's got Malik Neighbors,
ah.
both
Fuck. You know
rookies,
what?
both rookies.
That's not fair.
He's got Buck.
Maybe.
Maybe did he keep the Bucks QB? But I don't think he kept Bucky Irving.
No,
No,
no. So
Bucky
there's
Irving is Bucky Irving a rookie too?
he's got too many. He's got too many keepers. He's
Is
not going to be
Bucky
able
Ir-
to.
is Bucky Irving a
Yeah,
rookie?
Yeah. Yeah. So
He's got three rookie. Oh no, but
maybe
he didn't. I don't think he did. He draft. He didn't draft Bucky, but he did definitely draft Bowers and Malik Neighbors. So he's got those two guys.
yeah.
I think maybe a little letdown at the end of the QBs. I'm not sure. The Packers QB, really, he's got him on his team. That guy did not do well this year. So now, where was the money spent? I had Singletary. Singletary was doing great.
Mm.
Singletary was doing great. And then this rookie got in when Singletary got hurt.
Uh,
And Rob dropped $57 on Tyrone Tracy.
money well spent.
Money well spent, Rob. Money well spent. Another keeper. Another keeper. You know?
That's
Damn,
why that's why I said those mean things because I was actually pissed off.
yeah. You're not really, you know what, Rob? I think my theme is more applicable to you. You're not your pants around the ankle kind of guy. Maybe you are, but not in this particular situation. So, all right. Um, I don't think we have anything more to say about Rob. We're gonna, I don't even want to fucking talk about this guy.
No,
Fuck, fuck this guy. All this guy's done all year is shit in our mouths. Which, which, okay. Should we start with the theme or end with the theme?
well, go ahead.
Okay. This is my shit against the wall team. This is the guy that I think would just, he didn't show up to the draft. And we tried to give him a big pile of poo for not doing that. He didn't zoom in, he didn't do anything. We had to pick for him. We made a couple of little mistakes, gave him a little bit too much to work with. But then, like, oh God, oh, I made a waiver pickup. And whatever. Was it, who was it? Was it Dobbins or something like that?
Yeah,
That he thinks is, like that guy did great for about 2 games. Okay. And then I don't even think he's on his, oh no, he's on his injured. Guy's not even injured and is on his injured reserve. You know, um, we tried to save your ass at one point. We gave you an extra tight end because your tight end was on injury and not playing. You shit on our mouths for that. Okay. But you just kept throwing shit on the wall. You do a waiver pickup, you throw some shit on the wall. And what's crazy is you were last in our division all year, all year long. And in the last week, so I believe there was like you you were 5-2 to finish a year, but I believe you won like 4 wins in a row during the regular season. And it just bumped you right up on that last week. You got into the playoffs. You kept throwing shit on the wall. One of your shit on the wall things was pretending that you were drunk while I was trying to trade you. And actually, what you did was fleece me. I was trying to get more from him than he actually gave me for Goff. You ended up fleecing me. You flung that shit against the wall, and all this shit ended up sticking. It ended up sticking, and all this shit. And then I think what you did at the end was take the shit off the wall and smear it in my face. First round of the playoffs, you showed up and it was, I don't know. I think you got 230 points or something like that. No, nobody would have beat you.
fuck. By the end of week 8, he was 2-6, 2-6, and he pulls it together to make the playoffs. And it was
Five, five,
the guy
five and
was,
five and
yeah,
two, 5-2 the back half.
the guy was
Okay.
he was handicap in reverse.
Yeah, it was Jesus Christ. He spent the money on J.K. Dobbins early. That he blew a bunch of money on D Hop, which did not work out for him. Okay. He bet $49 dollars, by the way, on that. Um, and somehow he played the drunk cocaine guy on me. I totally fell for it. He took Goff, and he steamrolled me with Goff in the first round of the playoffs. Won the second round of the playoffs. This
He
is
to
the guy who was the worst in our division.
he totally rope-a-doped you there, bud.
Oh my God, did he rope a dope us, man? Did he ever? Right? And then
Yeah.
ends up in the final, you know, against the powerhouse. I think. But anyways, uh, okay, you did good, Chris. You did really well. You went
Way to go, bud.
two, 2-5 in the first part of the year, 5-2 the second half. Won a couple of rounds of the playoffs. Ended up in the big dance. We do know that your Super Bowl was the first week of the playoffs. You really wanted to give it to one of the shady commissioners, as you call us, and you did. You handed me my ass, man. You
There
kicked
you
my
go.
ass. You kicked my ass so far I didn't even know where to look for it. All right, bud. Why don't you
Okay.
intro uh, your former friend?
Okay.
Because he can't be your friend if he meets you like this.
Well, I do have a question because this has been going on for years now. Can Kyle, who's seemingly a smart man, figure out the add drop button?
Oh,
He picks up at least three of whatever he needs. It's like a kid who hoards all the candy from the pinata, and nobody pipes up about it either.
oh, I do. I
Like
do. Yeah, he's the worst.
we're all stunned out for some reason. What would that reason be? We're your theme, bro.
Oh, my theme.
Your theme.
Oh my God. Okay. Are we gonna start with the theme? I thought maybe we'd finish with it. Okay, so I do have a kind of theme, and it's because we did go to Kyle's house, uh, and we were all drafting, and I think this is what happened here. Because Kyle won. Kyle won. Kyle had some really good team, and the rest of us, dude, like my brother said, seemed a little stunned out. A story you gave me the lead in, Neal, and I didn't follow up. And I just remember uh, we're having the party and everything's going okay. Everything's going good. Next thing you know, Kyle's kind of walking around handing out some mystery shots, and I got a little woozy. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little woozy, and I just remember kind of took a little break, and everybody just kind of seemed pretty out of it, and I saw Kyle coming up the grass up towards the pool with a wheelbarrow full of baby oil, and I realized I was at a P Diddy party.
I don't remember much, bro.
I don't remember much. Kyle, you are the P Diddy of our league. Uh, you all invited us to the party. There's probably video of us somewhere that you can use to threaten us with. Uh, you know, it's like that joke. Hey, if you went camping and you woke up with a sore bum, would you tell anybody? No. Want to go camping? You know?
I re I remember being kind of face down, not able to move, and Kyle whispering in my ear, "No regrets, no regrets,
No regrets.
no regrets."
So you are let's be honest. P Diddy's the top of the industry, and when you're at the top, people want to take you down. But we were at your party, bro, and
We all got noodled by Kyle.
we all got noodled by Kyle. You were predicted
Um,
you were predicted six.
yeah,
You came
he
first
he ended up
for the
8-6 going into the playoffs with kind of losses sprinkled throughout the year. I thought this is checking part of my receipts that he had the best squad at the start, but then he barely squeaked in and had to play Brian first. Now
Hmm.
he took Brian out, and then won after that won a fairly close game against the replacements, and the Wannabes championship ended up with two guys who outsourced their labor.
Yeah,
Maybe there's something to this, brother.
maybe this, and you know what? I don't think it costs that much.
No, I think
We had double team India's working on this. Uh,
India's paying attention to football this year, I guess.
yeah, well, you know what? It's all algorithms for them, man. And you look at Kyle was 4-3 to start the year, 4-3 to finish. Just steady, steady. Third championship that he's had.
God,
Uh,
that kills me.
so here's the thing. Kyle spent, and I want to, you know what? And here's the thing. I forgot to write what um, what week he did this in, but I don't know how they got dropped. And when I look at the money he spent, um, did he really? Okay. There's a lot of Jake Ferguson stuff going on here um, with him, but Roma Dunze, this and that. And where was it? He signed. He signed. Oh, there it is. In December, it looks like he signed the Eagles
Eagles defense.
for $41. And if we look, you go and like, hey, I'm not saying that they shot him to the moon, but it was, you're talking they got steady, steady points, but for the playoffs, they got 24, 27. Final week, they got 43. What a
Yeah,
smart move. He went deep. He went deep on that waiver, and I cannot, like,
nobody was going to spend that amount of money on a defense, but it was all worth it because it just solidified everything for him.
yeah, it really put him into the spots, and he was very active on the waivers, very active, like a lot of transactions and stuff, extra transactions. If he had just do add drops,
Yeah,
um, he would,
just a click of the
just
button there, buddy.
you know what? I do think we're gonna add that rule in. If you don't need to, if you don't
Is
need
it
to
going to be
just
called the Kyle rule?
yeah, if you don't need to, like if you're trying to get rid of Kyle Pitts and you pick up three tight ends and then you drop two and keep one and drop Kyle Pitts. I think we should just drop all of them for you and you keep Kyle Pitts. Like, anyways,
Yeah.
Kyle, we're just shit in your mouth because we don't like you. Actually, we like you a lot, but you are the P. Diddy of our league, my friend. Neal, any other comments, anything like that?
No, he's got Lad McConkey for keeper next year.
I know,
So
I know.
that's got to hurt.
It
But
does, it does. But if again, it's a matter of looking at lads. Um, you know, first half of the year sucked. Nobody would have kept him. Nobody would have kept him. So, you're trying to win this year, not next year. And but then the back half, Vlad was great. He's got Jesus Christ. He, is who's he gonna keep here? He's got some options, man. Right? I think he even gets to keep the Ravens QB, does he not?
I don't know. I haven't looked at that. I
I
just
don't think
assumed
that
no.
that was in the first two rounds, man.
Oh, that's very bad for everyone involved.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, he was this year's cool guy. He's the champion. Let's not dwell on it.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. Uh, Wannabes. Uh, everybody, that was an awesome season. Very, very much appreciated. Um, the bitching and the whining, it's all part of the gig. Uh, Neal and I, we try to do the best for you. It sounds like from your guys' opinion that we often fail. Uh,
That's okay. We're good at it.
we're good at failing, and we look forward to seeing what everybody has next year. If final thoughts, Neal.
No, it was a terrible season, and I can't wait for it to start again.
I actually do have a final thought,
Okay.
guys. Just so you know, we committed to this podcast this year, and we were going to do it, and it is really really hard when one of the podcast members is getting absolutely fucking lit up all year. Like it would have been like my years where I sucked.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
yeah,
it's like
like
we
I can't
started
throw.
a podcast with your last 2 years there.
I know what were the years where I came. Like it would have been hard. So Neal, it's been it. This is the Super Bowl day. It took everything I had to get him to do the wrap up version of this podcast.
Honestly, I didn't want to do it. My kid forced me.
You know, Neal felt like he'd be letting his family down or something. I don't know. We finally got him on here. Anyways, guys, uh, love you all. The Everly brothers, another year in the books. Enjoy the Super Bowl.